Dear Elijah and Elaina, before you set out to win someone's heart, make sure that getting them would actually be a win. That quote is by Dr. Alan Berry. I'm telling you this because I read that quote from a post that he made. And I remember thinking, man, that's a striking thought, right? Because it's real easy to try to win someone's heart when you are thinking that they are worthy of it, right? Or that they are valuable enough in your life. But it really might be that you need to take a step back and do some self analysis of the situation and of that person. I remember when I was growing up, I've heard people before say, hey, before you get married to that person or even date that person, really, you better do your homework, right? Because it's possible that you could be dating a person or trying to date a person or trying to be with a person that really is not, you're not compatible with each other, right? Because when we get married, we believe that you're trying to be one flesh. And you might be trying to be one flesh with someone who maybe their flesh is, something is wrong with their flesh. Or maybe just their flesh is not right for your flesh. And so it's going to be hard for you to come together as one. But you got to do your homework. And another thing about that, I would say, is that making sure that you receive wise counsel on the person that you're supposedly wanting to date or you think highly of and you think they're worthy of your love. I never forget before Elijah and Elaina, before I actually dated and married your mom, we actually didn't see each other as necessarily attractive, right? So I thought she was pretty, but I wasn't attracted to her in that aspect. Like, I want to be with that one. Not her for me, that we were just cool with each other. And during the summer of 2008, as we talked and kind of became stronger friends after graduating from college, and in the fall, I'll never forget, she sent me a book. Oddly enough, that author who wrote the book, his name was Joshua Harris. He wrote a book called I Kissed Dating Goodbye. He is not only dismissed, I think disowned his own writing. He's no longer a Christian anymore either, but that's neither here nor there. Well, she, now my wife, your mom, sent me that book to read. And I remember thinking, man, I'm not going to read this stuff. And my parents were like, oh, no, you should read it. It's a really good book. We liked it. You know, they knew who he was when we were up in Maryland. And so anyway, I read it. Didn't agree with a lot of it. And clearly he does not and no longer now himself. However, I read the book. And your mother, my wife, who became my girlfriend afterwards, and fiance, was impressed, right? And so we got to know each other more. We discussed the book. We discussed our ideas, our views on things, our beliefs, faith, our worldview, future thoughts. You know, things change when it comes to what you say you want to do with your future. But we talked about it. And over time, the quote that I gave you earlier from my friend Dr. Alan Berry about making sure the person is worth winning, I realized, and maybe she would say it, I don't know. I realized my wife was worth winning, right? She was worthy of me. I hate to say compete for, because I didn't compete against anybody. But she was somebody I wanted to spend more time with. I wanted to grow with. I wanted to build something with it I thought would be lasting. And that's what I would encourage you all to do when you all, if that's what you feel God has for you to date and be married. Otherwise, sometimes some people, that's not what is meant for them. Sometimes also when it comes to dating and marrying, sometimes it comes later in life. Sometimes you're meant to have children, sometimes you're not. So that's another thing, is that we all have to be careful not to question women and young ladies, you know, with, hey, girl, why you aren't married yet? Or, girl, why don't you have any children yet? That's really heavy on a lot of women, because especially this day and age, a lot of young ladies are trying to combat that you know, it's kind of the old school belief that you're supposed to get married young, have kids young, this, that, and the third. But since the 70s, 80s, 90s, especially since I was a child, a lot more young ladies are like, no, I want to do my career first. I want to do me first. Okay. But anyway, the main point being is just to make sure you remember that if you're falling in love If you think this is the person for you, also seek wise counsel on that. So there's many times I watch shows and I'm just amazed that people will kind of be given some wisdom on a person, right? Other folks will say, hey, I don't think that person's a good fit for you. But in that person's mind, they're like, no, I love them. I could change them. Or you don't know them like that. You just are saying that. You don't know what you're talking about. But it's good to have wise counsel. It's good to listen to your parents. Okay, I listen to my parents on my wife, and was blessed by it. I've been married 9 years now. I have two wonderful kids. So it's one of those things that take wise counsel on your future. Take wise counsel on your quote unquote love life. But make sure that person is worth winning. Okay, do your homework, do your research. Okay, check them up, check them down, check the family history, check the family tree, check the background. Nothing wrong with that. Just daddy's thoughts.